All right. Good morning, good afternoon, bonjour, bonsoir à tous, et bienvenue. Welcome to this week's Wada Forum. It is the 8th of May. It's a beautiful day, at least where I am. I hope it's a great day for everyone. I'm glad to have you all here with us today. So today we have an exciting agenda. Just to follow up, mostly our focus today is following up on some of the budget items that are looking like high contenders to go through the final budget process and hopefully get actually funded, and looking kind of dissecting a few of them that we think are most probable to get in, and looking at the opportunities for Africa in those different projects. So that's what we have to look forward to today. I hope it's an interactive session. Please don't feel shy as we're presenting to also engage in the discussions. All right, here are our knowledge base resources. We like to keep everyone updated in these kind of three main areas. So please feel free to follow these links to read more. If you're new here, this is where you can find a lot of information. All right, our statement of purpose. Our mission is to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future. Notre mission, élever les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable. All right, so first we'll go into some different community, our different updates from Singularity and Cardano. So first I wanted to invite Samuel up to tell us anything new that's going on in SNet, anything we need to know about. From my side, I wasn't aware of anything big on the SNet side. I think things are a bit quiet. I'm personally wondering when we're going to hear back on some of the proposals we submitted a while back. I don't know if anyone else here has any info on that. Nana Safa, I see your hand is up. Perhaps you could share anything you know about that.
Yeah. So, if you're referring to the community power proposals, I think the results are in already. And I've mentioned it before on our previous course. The water proposal didn't go through. They sent sort of a general rationale, which seems to suggest that we probably, they met what they were looking for in terms of proposals. So, they couldn't find any extras as of now. But if there is any other opportunity, then obviously, they will let us know. So if there's anybody here who also applied for that particular RFP, you can check your email and then see if you have received any, email notification from them. I think it went pretty dead silent, so people probably
Right.
missed it.
That's what I was wondering. So did we miss the opportunity to vote, or was I just sleeping?
Oh, the vote, they have people that they actually do the voting, right? So they have a sort of a voting cycle that they do the voting through. So it wasn't more like a community, sort of ish to come and vote. So they had their own process and everything set up. If you want to vote, you have to go through a lot of processes to be able to become part of the cycle and then get a chance to participate as a voter. But because of every other activity that we are sort of engaging, we couldn't get a chance to, participate effectively there as well. But going forward, there are obviously going to be a lot of other opportunities in terms of RFPs that we probably can look at. The only thing is that Singularity Net is more of, or it's all about AI, AI, AI. So, anybody on this call, if you are really an AI enthusiast, then you will find yourself very useful, checking up their website and also checking up their portals to see which opportunities are available for you to grab, either as a developer or as an idea holder, or as any way you think you can contribute to, the AI revolution in Yeah, you can just check up Singularity Net. And that being said, currently as it stands, the BGI Nexus round has also come to an end. They have, voted for the proposals that are going through already, and you'll find more data on their website as well. And then also they have opened a new grant opportunity from Open Cork Hydra Hyperon. And so that one is the lead architecture for beneficial artificial intelligence, general intelligence, which is AGI. And they're looking for more like R&D projects, right? So they are allocating about $100,000 for concept blending experiments using the Meta AGI language, and also about $160,000 for research on neurosymbolic DNNS and higher order street reasoning. And also they have about $80,000 for exploring new AGI hardware and alternative computing paradigms, with $100,000 to investigate theoretical quantum computing models as well. And then also there is $40,000 to build motivation frameworks for human-like and digital intelligence. And then also about $350,000 to develop advanced knowledge graph tooling for AGI systems. So like I mentioned earlier, Singularity Net is all about artificial intelligence. If you have very keen interest in artificial intelligence, then of course you want to find yourself on their websites to be able to follow up on the opportunities available so that you can make meaningful contributions. But for every other thing that you're involved in or you're interested in aside artificial intelligence, then obviously you can look at other opportunities like from Catalyst, or also from some of the proposals that we probably will be discussing later today on this call, and then see how best you can align yourself in there. Yeah. So, and just a quick announcement that the funding community, they are looking to hire creative marketing talent to help them amplify the powerful ideas and grow their decentralized AI ecosystem. So if you are a marketing genius here, and you are looking forward to working with an AI firm or an AI institute or an AI organization, I'm going to drop a link in the chat. Please look through and then make your applications known so that they can you can engage with them, and if selected, of course, get to work with them, right? Yeah. And just so you know, they are looking to compensate for about $10 per hour, and they will be paying out in AGIX. So please check it out. Thanks, Megan.
All right, thanks, Nonasafo. Glad you had that update. I guess I didn't realize, that part about certain funding levels not being voted on. I was wondering about that silence, but I guess we all got so busy in other areas. Everything's been about Cardano and the budget and DReps. It's sometimes hard to keep track of all these things. So appreciate you knowing what's up and updating us.
Sure. Thank you very much. And I've put a link in the chat, so anybody who wants to look at it, please take a look.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So next part of our call today is to go over some of the things from the budget. So we have selected, I think, about 5 different proposals that we wanted to highlight that we think, are looking very likely to pass, have a lot of support from DReps, and just kind of make sure that we understand them and also understand where kind of the opportunity is. So this next part, I want it to be engaging. I hope everyone can feel free to ask questions, and also, offer feedback. Basically, how we'll go through is kind of present what the proposals are about and then discuss what that means for our community, for Africa in general. How can we benefit from these things? So don't get shy here. This is the chance for people to unmute, raise your hand, or if you are shy, you can just stay in the chat and type, or if you have bad network or anything like that. Okay, so the first one that kind of seemed obvious to talk about, almost too obvious, the proposal for Enhancing Project Catalyst. So the title is Enhancing Project Catalyst for 2025 and Beyond. quite a hefty line item budget here at 69 million ADA. But we all know very well the benefit of Catalyst to our community. So just to kind of pull from the proposal, some of what they put in regarding problem and solution. The problem is that there's obviously a rising complexity because more and more users are entering the platform, more and more projects are looking for funding. And currently, I guess a lot of the processes are manual. I think we all have had our complaints about some of the little things that Catalyst does. And then voter turnout. There's a lot of ADA, right, that's not voting in Catalyst. And then poor user experience. I think we all know about that. So their solution is to redesign the interface for better usability, mobile access even, and token support. Deploy something called Hermes to decentralize infrastructure and improve, voting and transparency. And 3 more funding rounds. So this budget should cover, that redesign plus 3 funding rounds, including retroactive rewards, which I'm not sure if I understand that part. So maybe if someone here could talk to that. Does that mean they ran out of funding for past funded rewards? Does anyone know about that?
I think that is a new model they are trying to introduce, but I mean, they want to do it slowly, right? They want to take it slowly. So it's more like introducing an RFP, right? So that is pretty much what they are trying to introduce, as part of the Catalyst funding process. So they're going to do the retrogressive funded proposals. I think that is the full of the RFP. But I mean, it is going to be something that we are all yet to explore exactly how they plan to implement it and even what it will look like for the community to be able to engage with. But it sounds promising. So I mean, we can all, cool down and then look at what the goods it will bring, right? So it's actually retroactive public goods fund. So that's like RPGs that they're looking to bring up.
Sure. Thanks, Don. It's helpful.
Sure.
Well, so, we have some benefits listed up here, but maybe we can make this more of a discussion. And Mercy, I see your hand is up. So welcome to the conversation. Jump in here.
Thank you. Just to add to what Anasafo said, I think an additional thing that is being looked at, as far as I'm aware, is also work that has already been done, right? So if anyone has built something, has done something, can prove that they've done it in the interest of Cardano, that can also be funded. So I think that's an additional to the regular that I know that they were exploring. So just wanted to add to that.
Awesome. So I don't know, maybe this one's too obvious. People see their benefit, right? Like we can submit proposals. As I said before, from my perspective, right? I know, a lot of the problems they're mentioning here seem to ring true. And a lot of us probably have the most direct experience, right? I know a lot of us, our work involves onboarding new users into Catalyst. That's sort of the best way in to Cardano and everything, right? Everyone's loves kind of the open marketplace for submitting proposals and getting funding and engaging in a way that's directly compensating you, right? If it's reviewing, there's compensation channels. If it's actually submitting proposals to get funding, that's the other benefit. So I think this is kind of a foundational part of a lot of our work here, as well as how, we're all bringing in new users. So this one's almost too obvious, maybe, in terms of how we could benefit, but worth highlighting anyways here. So I don't see any other hands up. Or Mercy, is your hand still
Megan,
up
am
on
I
the
coming
board?
through now?
Oh yeah, Sammy.
Yeah, sorry about the first instance. I was not hearing you well. That's number one, and I was also in motion, so I was talking, but I guess it was not coming through. For this particular subject, I want to pretty much understand a few things regarding the benefits regarding or benefits related to Africa, and the points that have been raised there. And I'm very interested in the 61 million in funding that opens doors for Africa startups and community projects. What aspect of the proposal makes us tap into this kind of benefits?
Sorry, which benefit? This proposal is about enhancing Project Catalyst. So it includes funding
Yeah,
to
I'm
actually
looking at.
enhance the platform, right? So if they're promising mobile access, right, that's
Okay,
a massive plus for us, right? Isn't one of our complaints often,
sure.
not everyone has a laptop, so they're not able to deal with these. How many people right here? You're gonna all participate in this. You better. Everyone here, if you're on your phone right now to listen to this call, raise your hand, do an emoji, something like that.
Yeah,
Who's on your
And I
phone?
mean,
but I
Is it
wanted to
just me?
understand because it stated there here that 61 million ADA in funding, and that will open doors for African startups and community projects. So I wanted to know exactly how it translates into these startups and what kind of startups
Well,
and what exactly are we talking about?
Well, it's because the funding rounds, right? Like us ourselves, we started from Catalyst funding, right? I know people here that have Catalyst funding that helped launch them. So the 61 million ADA is going to go into 3 funding rounds. So, right, let's see, what are we on? We just did 13. So Fund 14, Fund 15, and Fund 16, Project Catalyst, funding rounds.
Okay.
So kind of this is supporting those next 3 cycles,
All right then.
if that makes sense. So it
Yeah.
opens the doors for people, everyone, but we're highlighting kind of the African
The
perspective.
African perspective. Okay. I thought there was a special arrangement for Africa as far as this is concerned. So I wanted to get more clarity on it.
Okay. No, sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's not just for us.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I
We'll
get you
have to
now.
share. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
But that's a good question.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could clarify that.
sure. Thank you, Megan.
No problem. Okay, well, let's move on to the next proposal. That was a good warm up. I like the participation. We get more people involved in the next one. So this one is called Cardano Ecosystem Pavilions at Exhibitions. Again, 1 million. So not again, but this one's another higher, let's say ADA proposal. The problem they're highlighting is there's high exhibition costs, which really limit Cardano visibility at big events. There are ecosystem tools and projects remain largely unknown despite brand recognition maybe within our ecosystem. Missed opportunities to attract users, investors, developers due to limited event presence. So the solution here is to subsidize travel and booth costs for 50 plus projects, provide event support before, during, and after participation, track impact via follow-ups, KPIs, etc., and marketing return on investment, and then survey visitors to access Cardano awareness and ecosystem growth. I saw the presentation that they did about this one, and it seems, from my point of view, this seems like a great, use of funding, but also opportunity. Something that we've tried to submit in the past, from a Cameroon perspective, is a budget request to participate in one of these kind of events in Cameroon. And in researching and submitting the proposal, we realized just how much it costs to get a booth, at one of these big events, let alone, a spot on the stage, etc. And that's kind of where Cardano needs to be at this point. I feel like we have how many people in our ecosystem, and yet we're not necessarily representing at all these events that we could be. But I don't want to be the only one talking. So, raise your hand or interrupt me. Anyone who wants to kind of talk about what they see in this proposal for opportunities for us.
So, question, is there a minimum request in terms of funding? Is there a maximum? What's the lead time? Like, if you have your event, like what's the lead time to approval, right? And also, is there like a criteria? What kind of events are they looking at? Is that captured in the proposal? Do we know?
I would have to pull that up really quick. I don't know off the top of my head. Does anyone else know? Because that's a good point. They say here 50 plus. So I guess it's, up to interpretation how many they could actually do given what exact funding, right?
Yeah. And also, like, does it have to be a Web 2 event, Web 3 event? Like, are all the 100 million going to be used in, say, North America, So this proposal was put in by Discover Cardano. They are the same group that Maureen is trying to do a spaces with on Saturday. I think she's put it in that other group. So maybe that would be a good opportunity to ask in terms of, how that could look like. He's done a lot of publicity to his credit, but, we were also very busy with our own publicity. So I wasn't able to be locked into what he was doing. But yeah. Maybe these are questions that we can table for another day, maybe next week or whatever.
Yeah, Nanasafa, go ahead. And here's the proposal, everyone in the chat. I'm going to read through it.
Yeah, so I'll just touch on the event criteria bit. Obviously, because we are in a Web3 ecosystem, their focus is on a Web3 events. So for instance, recently, was it Token 2049 took place in Dubai also, and then they were there. They had their team there to sort of represent Cardano. But at that particular event, they didn't get a booth, so it was just their team members, just trying to network around and get people to sort of know about Cardano. And they actually conducted a survey there, which came up with a really, really interesting response. Which seems to suggest that even a lot of people are actually not even holding ADA. And even for those who are holding ADA, they are holding it in on centralized exchanges and not the native wallets, which in essence means that they are not even participating in governance, right? These are some of the issues that they are looking to provide solutions to. And for instance, in Africa here, there are Web3 events that do happen or do occur, But normally when you go there, you don't see anything Cardano over there. Cardano in itself is not sponsoring those programs, so you don't hear anything about Cardano. And you don't see their booths. You don't even see Cardano indigenes over there, participating in the event itself, right? Cardano speakers are not invited, and these are some of the opportunities that we can actually leverage to put Cardano in the face of people out there, right? So the focus is going to be on Web3 events, I believe, and then also in terms of how much per project. I think it depends on the region in which that particular event is happening and what the ask is from the event organizers in terms of if you want to hold a booth over there, how much are they looking to charge you to be able to host a booth over there. I think recently, no, not recently, somewhere last year, there was a blockchain event going on in South Africa, and Bernard was really trying hard to get a booth for Cardano over there, and it was like super expensive, right? So I mean, if these proposals do come in, then obviously it gives us the opportunity to be able to connect and then establish these booths to make Cardano have some sort of a relevant presence in some of these events, which eventually would now turn into people now beginning to research about what Cardano is about, what kind of products are available on Cardano, and I mean every other thing that needs to be discussed as well. So yeah, I mean, like you're saying, maybe on the spaces, those who will be able to attend can ask some of these questions and see exactly how they can, be a part of this particular project. But currently, as it stands, I think the last time I asked him on during the presentation, he mentioned that he has a small team that they are working. I mean, he doesn't have a large team, but he has a small team that they sort of really trust themselves that they are working. So, I mean, once these booths are ready, obviously, some of the events can be attended, and Cardano can be sort of showcased over there, and people can now begin to look at Cardano extensively and probably also become a part of the ecosystem. So yeah, if you're interested in search, I think you can reach out to him, maybe through that space, and then find out more.
So question. So for now, basically it is the team, it's the Discover Cardano team that will be handling all these exhibitions. Is that your understanding? Or who else can qualify?
Yeah, so my understanding is that now they are the ones handling these exhibitions. But I can't confirm that maybe they are looking to expand their team. I'm sure maybe that is what they are looking to do, or they are looking to establish subgroups, spread across the region so that they can now represent. Because I remember asking him before that, I mean, for instance, if there's an event happening in Africa and you are creating these booths in, say, Europe, are you going to, ship the booth over to Africa, or you are looking to have a team here who would now also work on the booth here? But the answer wasn't really like specific. He was like, they were going to work on it and then see how things will go. So I'm sure these are some of the things that they would consider, given that they are now going to be funded.
Manazapo, you said something that struck me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just that you're breaking a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. You said the proposal is also trying to solve the problem with people who have their ADA in exchange, and for that reason, they are not able to participate in governance fully. Was that correct?
No, I mean, I was giving context to why this proposal is necessary, right? And
Okay.
yeah, so the survey that they conducted in the Token 2049 event, the results is what I was sort of referencing to.
Oh, okay. And so one of the results is that people have their ADA in exchange and that they do not really participate fully in governance, right?
Absolutely.
Was there any suggested solution to this particular problem? Because that's more like some of the problems that I think we in the African space face a lot.
Not that I know of, but it was more like a discussion going on X. But the end game seems to suggest that, I mean, some people have heard about Cardano, but they don't even know where to get involved, right? They don't even know how to get involved. So if there's something like this present at some of these events, then obviously people will now begin to learn about how they can actually participate meaningfully in the ecosystem,
Oh, okay.
either becoming a part of the governance cycle, or just running through submitting proposals and stuff. But currently, as
Yeah.
it stands, they have the ADA in exchange, maybe because somebody was say we'll buy some ADA, hold some ADA, that, the trading advice and stuff
Yeah.
that goes on. Yeah, but
Yeah.
as to exactly how they can leverage the ADA that they're having to make a meaningful impact on the ecosystem, that is where the gap is, right? So some of these events
Yeah.
or some of these projects would seek to, providing a solution to these gaps, because now when they come to events and they see these pavilions and they see that Cardano is branded and Cardano is being showcased, then they get the opportunity to, engage and ask questions about how they
Engage
can
and ask
actually make
questions. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good. So that's more like
Yeah.
what it looks
Again,
like.
I was particularly concerned about it because when we started with the Wada DRep and we're trying to understand why people are not engaging, you remember these were one of the concerns that
Yeah,
people do not even keep their ADA, they don't hold on to it. It's in exchange for one or two reasons, for some economical reasons. So I
yeah.
wanted us to explore more on that. But it's an interesting something. And yeah, maybe we can join the X Spaces on Saturday and ask some of these critical questions, how get specific answers and work with them. That's,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm done, Megan.
Okay. No, this is great. I like this kind of discussions. But let's move on to another proposal. I think we have about two more. Maybe we'll get to one of them today because I see we have 12 minutes. So depending how much we want to talk about it. So the next one, beyond minimum viable governance, iteratively improving on Cardano Voltaire. Wow, is iteratively a word? That seems like a made-up word.
It is,
I,
it is, it
I've
is.
only read it in my head before. I've never said it out loud. It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, I mean, it is a word. I mean, so something like a repetition, right? Doing something in
Yeah.
repetition sequence.
Yeah. Okay. This is a bit.
And if Megan, a native speaker, is not able to say this word, how much more myself?
Right. It's not fair. So the problem they're trying to address with this proposal, no clear, transparent system to assess Cardano governance performance. There are governance risks that are of becoming reactive and ineffective without proper feedback. I think that's something we're seeing right now, right? Everyone's just freely submitting anything they want, right? And we're seeing how those kind of clash and etc. Lack insights to guide improvement and evolution of governance mechanisms. Okay, so now their solution, develop a governance measurement framework and publish a state of governance report. Gather feedback through surveys, interviews, workshops, and on-chain data. Host 10 global community workshops to co-design and prioritize improvements. So again, I think, this is pretty sure to get in. It's an essential kind of part of this iterative process of Cardano governance, of Voltaire. We threw something in that was good enough for now, right? But we all know it needs improvement, and it's through these kinds of things, right? Actual feedback, measurement framework, right? That's interesting. And something that I see here is global community workshops. That sounds like something we can all get involved in. But what do you guys think? What do you want to highlight here? Feel free, people who haven't spoken yet, to raise your hand, unmute, or write in the chat, whatever you feel most comfortable with.
And I mean, over here, I'm expecting the DReps on call to come up and ask questions or make contributions if they have, because this proposal is really for the DReps. So the African DReps on call, what do you think about this particular proposal? Did you get to review it during the process? What were your takeaways and what kind of questions were you looking to probably find answers to? And maybe while they prepare to come up, I can just say that this proposal really was something that was supposed to be executed by the service committee, but I mean, they didn't submit a budget themselves. So obviously this is one of the proposals that they're going to work keenly on to ensure that the Cardano governance is leading in the right direction, right? And I mean, for me as a DRep coordinator, I think it is very important for each and every DRep to engage with this particular proposal, because what they are looking to do is that they're going to collect feedback from DReps or delegates, particularly for those who had the chance to, experience the Constitutional Convention in Kenya. The delegates who went ahead to, represent Africa in Kenya, you guys will have to, maybe buckle up with this particular proposal, because you guys are going to be called on once implementation, time is due. But the part that interests me is the fact that they're going to host about 10 regional workshops across. And I see that Wada was ticked to, I can say temporarily ticked to host one of these workshops. So hopefully at the time, all of these delegates and DReps or whoever governance actors they are can come together, and then, just as they did for the Constitutional Convention, would also do for this particular event, or let me say this particular project, just to see we progressing the governance into, a better state. Like Megan put it, we did pass a constitution. We have gradually evolved into the Voltaire era, but there are a lot of issues, and typical among them right now is the issues surrounding the governance, the net change limit governance actions, where we have seen multiples of them being submitted, almost with, very little to no time gaps in terms of differences. And it sparks a lot of conversations, sparks a lot of back and forth here and there. These are some of the issues that we'll have to discuss. Exactly how do we want to, perceive these things or perceive these problems going forward? And I think it would be very useful for us to really, really, really review the constitution we have, and then, come up with better solutions to the gaps and challenges that are being identified so far. So yeah, I'm very excited and looking forward to this particular project, i.e. the events, just to make my contributions, and then hopefully, if accepted, integrate into the constitution through the Constitutional Review Committee. So I see there are other DReps like Sedu, there's I saw Laurentine on call. I can also see Jeremiah now. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say. Okay. Sedu.
Yeah, okay. Nana, just to comment that before I will need clarification whether we have the Constitutional Review Committee set in place now. Aside that one, this proposal was it's one of the things that we need to just put in place to solve the issues that we are already able to do through the Constitutional Convention. It's something that Africa has to come together and then get our input to be considered in the Constitutional Review. Very important for us. So we are all looking forward for that. So that if possible, we could be vendors to facilitate this. That would be cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So the Constitutional Review Committee has not yet been set up. Hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully they will look at it, because there are issues. The Constitution has to be reviewed either ways. So I'm sure something like that will be set up, going forward.
Right. Though we all read through the Constitution, but I don't know whether there's a time that the Constitution can be reviewed. Probably could say this ratified Constitution has to maybe last for a year or 2 years before we can amend it also during the ratified Constitution, or it can be reviewed at any point in time.
I think, well, I've not really read about the Constitutional Amendment Acts extensively, but I think when the time is due, or when we have enough evidence to actually make amends, obviously, we'll be able to get to that stage and cross. I know some individuals and some groups who are currently preparing documentations on what gaps are in the Constitution that needs to be tackled ASAP. Other than that, they're going to, impede governance progress. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be something that the community can really work around with to ensure that these things are being resolved. I mean, ASAP. Yeah, but I can't confirm that maybe the constitution has to be in place for like 1 year at least or 2 years at least before they can now look at amendments. I don't know. Mercy, do you want to add anything to this? I believe you were strongly involved in the constitution itself.
Yeah, there wasn't a stipulation as to when it had to be renewed. If I remember correctly, that discussion came up, but there wasn't any conclusive, sort of determination that made its way to the Constitution. So as of now, I think it's on a as needed basis. And maybe that is why Civics wanted to put in this proposal to sort of test the waters and see. Yeah, not a lot to bring, but just a little bit of context.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Okay. Megan, over to you.
Oh, sorry. I forgot I put myself on mute because there's some background noise here. But
Jeremiah
I did think
is
I
on
was.
the call.
Can you guys hear me? Anyways, here's
the call. Is my man. He's a new DRep. I want him to share his view on this.
I was going to say we're sort of running out of time for today's call.
Oh, okay.
We do have just the hour scheduled for these calls. But feel free to look at the links. We posted the links to the proposals we discussed in the chat. And I think this was a good discussion. Maybe we'll get to the other one next week.
Megan?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. I don't know. Maybe we could ask if the audience are, willing to jump off like right away, or maybe they want to maybe spend a little bit more time, or because I think we have just about one proposal to cover, and then we are done for the agenda for today. So if you want to ask or something, I mean, I don't mind going overboard for like 15 minutes more, but I don't want it to be my preference,
Okay, sure. I have just the hour available today, so I'll have to drop off.
Okay.
But if you want to keep the room open, if anyone wants to hang out and discuss,
I'm
but
even not sure to work. I think Jeremiah also shared that she's in the class, so you cannot even talk. So yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet. But thanks everyone. Thanks Nana Sapo for all your participation. I think Mercy as well had to drop off. But come back again next week. We'll talk about this stuff and more. And feel free, people who are hanging out, to share what you want to hear about next week, etc. But with that being said, thank you everyone for attending this week's Wada Forum, and see you next time.